Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, whatever time zone you're in, whatever country or continent you are on. Today, a very warm welcome to this 5th edition of CIONEXT. We have prepared a wonderful program to you, and CIONEXT really is a flipped international conference, and flipped in the sense that we have done long format video interviews of our panelists that you could have already watched. And so several of you will have done that and already know the participants in our panel today. So we are going to discuss in the next 2 hours how to reinvent business and how we need to reinvent work. Because we have gone through an amazing last 12 to 14 months with the pandemic, and that has changed so many things. And that is one of the drivers, of course, that we will discuss today on how we need to reinvent our business. So the program that we have for you today is we have 6 panelists. So we have Vargha Moayed, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of UiPath. We have Marciniak, who is the CIO of PKO Bank in Polski, in Poland. Dimitris Bountolos comes from us from Madrid. He's the Chief Information and Innovation Officer at Ferrovial. Sanjay Patel comes to us from London. He's the Group CIO of Tate & Lyle. Kirsten is in the south, in the middle of nowhere, as he calls it, in Germany, and he's the CIO for Zeiss. And Kirsten's office is in Eindhoven in the Netherlands, and is the CIO of Signify. So that's the wonderful panel that will bring you today. Now, this program is sponsored by UiPath. It's brought to you by UiPath together with CIONET. And in fact, what we are doing is quite a big program because, as Roger Camrass will explain in a moment, we have been doing quite a big research program and talked to many CIOs around Europe, around the globe, on this topic of reinventing work and reinventing business. And we're running this conference today, and we have done quite a number of video interviews as well with some top digital leaders here in Europe. So that's the complete program. So that is being organized by UiPath. A very interesting thing. So if you are watching this and you want to win something, we have set up a very small short survey. So take your phone, scan this code. We'll also put the link in the chat later or right now, if possible, of where you need to go for this. So if you have a team of 20 people, and I can imagine you have more, so with a team of 20 people, you can win an escape room experience. Aren't we all looking forward to that? So an escape room experience, if you just fill in a very short survey with 3 questions, will take you 2 minutes, and then you can win this for you and your team. And of course, it's on the topic of today, how we can create fully automated enterprises, how we can reinvent work. A little bit more about the conference of today. So we're running this on Zoom for CIONET members. We're running this on all the social platforms, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter, and so on. And just on LinkedIn alone, we had 1,465 registrations, so public registrations for that. So that is the size of this conference. People that have registered are from 34 different countries, and they are from 5 different continents. So we have people from the US, from Australia, from India, from Singapore, from Europe, from Latin America. So from all around the globe, CIONET really has evolved into a global community for digital leaders. I said that this is a flipped conference, and that you can watch each of the panelists that are with us today in a detailed and long format leadership deep dive interview. And so if you go to CIONET.tv, you will end up in our YouTube channel, and there you will find the videos of Vargha Moayed, of Marciniak, of Kirsten River, and of Dimitris Bountolos. and the video of Sanjay will appear in the coming weeks. We're just awaiting final approval. And then the video of Kirsten will be recorded in the coming weeks when the COVID situation is a bit more under control in Germany. So, so that is a follow-up that you can do if you enjoy the discussions that we are bringing here today to you. Then you can watch each of these digital leaders in more detail on CIONET.tv. So that's the program that we have today for you. So we'll do the introductions first, and Vargha, as Chief Strategy Officer of UiPath, will give us a bit of an update what's happening at UiPath, and then we'll go into a panel discussion where we will be discussing 4 topics. Topic number 1 is, why do we need to reinvent our businesses? Topic number 2, how do we automate our workflows? How we create a fully automated enterprise? Topic number 3 is, how are we transforming our workforce? What's happening with our people, with our teams, with our sourcing strategies? And topic number 4 is, how do we modernize the workplace? What's the future role of the office, and so on. I will end up with some Q&A and some conclusions, and then around 5 o'clock we will come to an end of the conference of today. So that is it. I'm going to stop my share and stop my PowerPoint here. Let me just do that so that I can see everybody. So I'd like to call Kurt and Dimitris and Vargha and Kirsten and Roger and Adam and Sanjay to unmute and to switch on your videos so that we can get this show on the road. And so I would like to start maybe with asking all of you to quickly introduce yourselves and also answer the question: if you would not have ended up in IT, then what would you be doing today? So if you would not be a CIO or a tech leader, where is it that you will probably be spending your time? Where would your career have brought you? So Vargha, normally you would be in Bucharest. We understand that you're in the Costa Brava in Spain today. So introduce yourself a little bit, and what was your dream job when you were younger and not yet into IT?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. As our Chief Revenue Officer used to start his speeches. My name is Vargha Moayed. I am the Chief Strategy Officer of UiPath. What would I have done if I was not a Chief Strategy Officer of an IT company in business? A profession that when I was young did not know that it existed, but since I discovered it later, I wish I had done that. I would have loved to be a stand-up comic. I think I made a living out of it.
If you want, we can give you a half an hour extra at the end of the show, Vargha. So if you're meant to,
I would have loved to be it. I didn't say that I have the talent for being it. That's a slightly different thing.
Okay, so the Chief Comedian Officer would have been a strategy or a career path for you as well. Great.
Yeah, I was the class clown, but I never thought that that would actually be a profession until I later on. There's some people like Seinfeld, etc., that you can actually make a living out of that. So,
okay, great. So, Adam, let's go to you. Adam Marciniak, you're the CIO of PKO Bank you're in Warsaw today, right?
Yes, unfortunately, rainy Warsaw. It's the weather is terrible. We have the long weekend just on the beginning of the May, and it was almost all the day was raining and it was freeze. I almost freeze to death. But fortunately, I have a warm welcome from your side, and I really glad to be here. My name is Adam, and I'm from PKO Bank Polski. I'm representing the IT and technology, responsible for this area for last 5 years, and previously mostly for development. And just before, and unfortunately, I became the IT specialist or some C-level nerd, as I mostly saying to my colleagues from the business. But in the past, maybe not in the past, but in this moment, I am the cyclist. I'm the freak cyclist. You know, I'm riding the bike every day. So I believe that if I would not become the IT specialist, I would be like Peter Sagan, Michał Kwiatkowski, maybe Von Van Aert. Yes, so there is a lot of nice, fast guys, and spending the fantastic time on the bike.
Okay, so we have a comedian, we have a cyclist. It's going to be an interesting discussion here today. Dimitris, you come from Madrid to this conference. Can you introduce yourself and what was your dream when you were not contaminated yet by technology?
Yeah, contaminated, you have to say. Hello, everyone. Super excited to be once again with the community of CIONET. I'm the Chief Information and Innovation, two completely sides of the coin. It's a bit schizophrenic sometimes, to repair the daily stuff and to think ahead in the future for real group. Trying to dream about what I will have been achieved in the future if my track would have been different. I think something connected with creativity. Most probably graphic designer, photography oriented to the design, or even eventually architect. I think that component is very difficult to be applied on a daily basis. Imagination is always a must, but professionally speaking, that would be my dream, and I still believe that I can achieve this dream in the future. So, yeah.
And not a chef, because you run a couple of restaurants. You could have been a chef as well.
It's a lot of responsibility. I can recommend you good places for eating, but to put the hands inside of the food, even in pandemic times, is a risky and very tough job. But yeah, I love gastronomy also, as you know.
Okay, thank you, Dimitris. Sanjay, if you could unmute, very warm welcome to you. So Sanjay, you're the Group CIO of Tate & Lyle, based in London, very old company, in fact. So tell us a little bit about yourself, the company, and what was your dream when you were still young?
Thank you, Hendrik. Well, I am based in London, but maybe I'm sitting in a Star Wars set if you look at my background, which is another application of technology. So look, yes, I'm Group CIO for Tate & Lyle. We're a food ingredient company, as you know, international, and we service all of the sort of food and beverage providers on a global basis. I feel I've sort of lived through my dream a few times. I grew up as an engineer, worked in chemical engineering in the chemical industry for many years, and then I did business consulting, which meant I get access to lots and lots of different businesses, particularly in consumer products, goods. And then I joined Tate & Lyle actually as head of transformation. So that really was my dream job in terms of making change happen in a transformational way across multiple companies. And then I became the CIO. So I feel I've sort of gone through that. Now, if I had my time again, or if I had my time going forward, then actually I'd probably be on the phone to Dimitris, because I'm big into food and wine. My wife and I are both, she's a chef. We have a half decent wine collection. So that's probably what I would be spending my spare time doing, or will be spending my spare time doing going forward. But that's a little bit about me. Okay,
thank you so much, Sanjay. Kasten, tell us, where are you in Germany, and introduce yourself a little bit, and what would you have been if you were not a CIO?
Yeah, thank you, Hendrik. Saying in the middle of nowhere in your introduction. I'm down south in Germany, southeastern part, a city called Oberkochen, which is corporate headquarters of Carl Zeiss. And this is close to Munich. It's about 1.5 hours to drive. So to give you a little bit of an orientation. I joined Zeiss about 4 years ago in the division of medical technology. And then after 2 years, I was asked to take over and oversee all of IT. And Zeiss is a fantastic company down south here. Prior to Zeiss, I was in the pharmaceutical industry and manufacturing industry and have always been doing IT. So that's a difficult question, Hendrik. What would I do if I weren't doing IT? I would probably be a professional gamer on the PlayStation or Xbox or something.
Okay, I'm a full-time gamer. And a streamer nowadays. You need to stream your games nowadays. So
true.
By the way, if you're following this and you're in our chat, please let us know what your job would have been if you would not have been in IT. What was your dream job? Good. If you could introduce yourself and where are you today?
So good afternoon, Kirsten River. Today I'm in Komtig in my living room, so not in the Netherlands. I'm the CIO of Signify. Signify is a market leader in conventional and connected LED lighting. I think also previously known as Philips Lighting. I joined Philips about 8 years ago, and then I was part of the split, leading the lighting division in 2016. Yeah, as a teenager, I was a big fan of Robbie Nash. I think in the meantime, 23 times world champion surfing. So that was at least as teenager something that I always looked up to. Unfortunately, I was not that good, so then just decided to go and study. So I studied applied economics with a specialization of quantitative economics. Started as a financial analyst, and then basically in my second job in mobile, they put me in IT, learning to how to get data out of the system. And then that was initially meant for 6 months, and then a few things changed and I never got out. So probably if that one event would not have happened, I now would be in finance, so maybe not as exciting as some of the others here, but that's probably what would have happened.
But your dream was surfing, right? So
at the time, my dream was surfing. In the meantime, done many other challenging or crazy things, but yes.
Comedian, cyclist, architect, food and wine specialist, gamer, surfer, an interesting bunch here today with us, Roger. Roger, you're the research director for CIONET International. Could you tell us a bit more about yourself and what was your dream a couple of years ago?
Thank you very much, Hendrik. I'm really delighted to be with such a distinguished panel. Yes, I am the Director of Research for CIONET, but I'm also the co-manager of CIONET in the UK, working alongside Sean Foley. My dream had been, from an early age, to be an architect. I don't know quite what went wrong. I got swept into IT, but I sneaked back through the back door during the 80s when London went through Big Bang. And I discovered that IT was actually a very integral part of building design. And I was successful enough to convince a lot of architects to work with me. And I was very much involved in the design of Canary Wharf and Bishopsgate. And today I can see again that there's a very big change going to take place in the design of the workplace. So I'm going to try and get my architect's hat back on. So thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And by the way, I would have dreamt to be a singer, but unfortunately I cannot sing. So that was not a good, well, that stopped the career there immediately. So that was, I think, a great introduction.